Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in today. My name is Zonzi, and I am the host of the Showcase AMA series here on the Polygon Discord. Today, we got two special guests coming from Woo Network. We have Ben and we have Kevin. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great, doing great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's great to have both of you here. I always like to kick these off doing a introduction. So, how would you like to tell us a bit about your backstory, what you were doing before you got involved in the crypto space, and what you've been doing since you got involved, and what ultimately got you started with working on the Woo platform?
Yeah, I think I can get started. So yeah, I joined crypto around 2017, and before that, I was actually working for a consulting firm working on cybersecurity and privacy, and I got a chance to work on some services related to blockchain, and I really got interested in it, and then and I had a chance to join VChain at that time. So I that's the first project I worked for. I was the COO of VChain, and I think around 2020, I find out about DeFi. I really I was really fascinated about it. I think a lot of interesting application is being built around DeFi. Actually, so I decided actually to like dedicate my all my time to research DeFi, also like doing investment, and also just trying to learn deep dive into those products, right? So and then later I got a chance to get to know the Wu team through Ben, and I had a chance to actually lead the DeFi efforts at Wu Network. Yeah, since then I'm actually now leading the all the DeFi efforts, including building our own DEX, which is called WuFi. We're gonna introduce today. So yeah, that's kind of my story.
Sweet, that's a pretty exciting backstory. I know VChain went on a pretty significant run not too long ago. So, yeah, it's really
Mm.
exciting stuff. Ben, would you like to go next?
I think Ben may have some issue. He said he can't hear anything. Um, he's because I think he's on the 5G in his car or something. But
Oh,
yeah,
no.
maybe we can continue. When he's back, we can
Yeah,
talk to Ben.
yeah, let's keep talking about Woo, and once Ben gets everything figured out, we'll jump back to him. So, um, yeah, why don't we talk a bit more about what the new Woo network is and what differentiates it from other trading platforms?
Yeah, sure. Wu was actually incubated by Kronos Research in 2019. So Kronos Research, I don't know if people know that it's actually one of the biggest market maker in this space. So Kronos trading billions of dollars every day on across all the centralized major central exchanges as well as decentralized exchanges. Uh, they incubated Wu. Wu started as like a liquidity network. It started as like an institutional service providing aggregated, kind of like a dark pool of aggregated liquidity to institutions like exchanges for they can like tap into Wu's liquidity to enhance the liquidity on their order book. And later on, based on that, we actually built our own exchange, which is called WooX. So on WooX, actually, it's also user can actually easily access the aggregated liquidity on the order book and with zero fee, right? So I think probably the only exchange offer zero fee for maker and taker. I think even for the taker side, we even offer trade to earn. So for user doing market buy and sell, they can earn some Wu token from their trading. And then I think couple uh, early this year we launched the perpetual futures. So now Wu has both spot and futures market. I think on the usually on the coin Gecko Wu Woo's spot volume is around between like number 10 to number 20. So these days it's around like maybe 500 million per day. I think we topped at a little bit over 2 billion, I think last year. I think another thing, something unique about Wu is actually the volume of going through Wu network. Actually, right now, maybe around 20% is actually coming from DeFi. Because we like Chronos, for example, they are the largest market maker on DYDX. They're also trading on Uniswap. There's another order book that's called Apollo X. They are the biggest market maker across a lot of venues, and they use Wu network for their hedging. So those volume will be routed to Wu network as well. So that's on the CFI exchange. And I think last year, probably around October, we launched our own DEX, which is called WuFi. So I think we will get into that a lot more details later. But generally, WuFi is we call proactive market maker with very high capital efficiency. Now we are deployed on 4 different blockchain. Recently, just launched on Polygon. We support major assets like BTC, ETH, Matic, and other L1 coins. So yeah, it's basically WuFi has been one of the best liquidity source on chain, based on the statistics we got from the aggregators like 1inch, Matcha, Paraswap. So yeah, we are very excited about WuFi. We will launch more products around that. And yeah, maybe one last thing. Well, we recently launched another product for trading in our like product suite, which is called WuDex. WuDex is like a decentralized order book DEX built on top of Near. It's built on top of another protocol called Orderly. It's actually also a project that Wu and Near Foundation incubated. So yeah, so basically we're providing products to meet all kinds of needs in trading, like centralized exchange, DeFi swap, as well as decentralized order book DEX. Yeah, that's just a quick intro.
Yeah, that's really exciting stuff. Honestly, I think it'd be best if we just jumped right into
Yeah, I
doing a
think
presentation of
Ben is
everything.
back. Ben is back.
Oh,
Maybe
awesome.
he
Yeah,
wanted to add something quickly.
yeah. I don't know what to add because it sounds like Kevin did a wonderful job. It was just really funny because everything was working perfect until you did your countdown and 3, 2, 1, and then it stopped. So
3, 2, 1, kick.
right. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but no hard feelings.
No. I would never
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Would you want to introduce yourself and share your backstory with everyone now that everything's working again?
Sure. Ben is my name, Ben York, on Twitter. And my main role is on growth and community building and marketing. These kind of overlap a lot, especially in the DeFi space. So I work on different things there. One of the most vocal members of the team, always talking on social media. So definitely more established, I guess, from the Wu team. Even though we have probably around 160 or something like that full-time employees working across the globe. I think on 18 different countries. We have most of a new office in Europe now, so we're building up there. Started in Asia, which is why our reputation might be less known among the Western crowd as some of the other mainstream exchanges. But yeah, I mean that's basically it. We see ourselves as one of the bigger players. We've been going under the radar for quite a while, so very excited to see how, after this current market cycle, which is kind of like the great equalizer, puts everyone on the same level, how we can position ourselves for success in the next cycle.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I think it'd be great to just jump into doing a showcase of the Woo platform.
Yeah, I'll do it. You guys see my screen?
It's loading now. Yeah, we see the presentation. Looks great. 1080p.
Cool. Maybe, yeah, I talked a little bit on the our product. Maybe Ben,
Yeah,
Ben, you want to add something? Maybe around, yeah, anything you want to add?
yeah, happy to do that. So, I mean, the backbone of everything we build is our liquidity network, which is aggregated from all the top retail and institutional trading platforms in the world, which allows us to be very competitive for traders on liquidity and also fees. So the obvious product there is a CeFi exchange, similar to what you would do if you were trading on something like Coinbase Pro or Binance or any of the other big CeFi exchanges. So that's WooX, right? So that's a zero fee trading platform aimed at pro traders. Then WooFi is the one that Kevin is going to showcase shortly after that. It's a swap. Similar to an AMM, except for there's a lot more going on in the back. So it's like a smart AMM, which Kevin will discuss. And that's probably where a lot of the exciting value for the Polygon community is going to come from. WooDex is something that we're really excited about. It's an on-chain DEX. So basically, internally we always see that the direction of the industry is going towards more decentralization, but with the performance of CeFi, right? So, we saw in the last trend, there was a lot of these on-chain derivatives platforms. Kevin mentioned Apollo X and DYDX. These showed that traders will gravitate towards these decentralized solutions, especially after this last contagion event where we saw so many CeFi platforms run into solvency issues, which erodes trust with traders who are depositing a lot of money onto these platforms. And then there's no guarantee that the funds are actually safe. So that's why WooDex is exciting, because we did we incubated a separate network with Near, running on Near. I know this is a little bit off topic for this conversation, but Kevin, you're jumping around a bit there.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, WooDex is going to be very similar to WooX, the CeFi platform, except for it's completely decentralized and running on Near. So that's very exciting. And it's not going to be probably limited to Near once we establish like the platform there. There is a possibility of multi-chain. So that could be of interest to this conversation as well later on. WooDAO, that's a very important part of our community. Earlier this year, the ecosystem allocated 300 million Woo tokens to this DAO, and we started organizing our community into different working groups, things like business development, treasury management, growth. We created a separate branch called WooForce, which is aimed at empowering community members who want to help us grow in different regions or even in the main global regions. So, we're one of the larger DAOs by treasury. And I think, with the amount of resources at our disposal, we're not just a couple of guys on the internet with the dream, right? We have a lot of support from the, Woo Network and a lot of our top partners. So I think going forward, you're going to be hearing a lot more about WooDAO. And finally, Woo Ventures, because of our situation where we provide liquidity, we have, CeFi listings, we have DeFi listings, a lot of projects when they're early stage, they come to us for advice. So we have a ventures team, and we're in the process of migrating this to the DAO. So this is quite exciting. But it could be a way for people to get access to, early stage projects, find out about them. Learn more about, what's coming in this industry in terms of trends. So all these things make up like the core of the Woo ecosystem. And they're all different products, but at the end of the day, I mean, all of it stems from the fact that the liquidity is there, and that's pretty much king when it comes to traders, right? I mean, that's basically what they want. I think if you want to jump to the next slide there, Kevin,
yeah.
we can talk about the origin story a little bit. Everyone always says, well, where does this liquidity come from, right? So our co-founders are also co-founders of one of the largest quantitative trading firms. So think about market makers. They're doing billions and billions of dollars per day across all the top platforms. And yeah, that's Kronos Research, right? So the idea in this industry is that a lot of the trading firms, their biggest pain points is having venues to trade on, right? And they know best, about the pain points. So that's why we've seen a lot of the, Alameda branched out into FTX. We see Wintermute has, some OTC service, and they just announced a DEX called Bebop. So, I mean, this is a trend that, the big trading firms, they have the most resources. They understand the pain points. And yeah, that's in 2018 when Kronos was founded. They had this problem almost immediately where a lot of the venues they go to are, there's issues with connecting, and then there's, you have to deal with the BD representative to negotiate all your contracts and then the fees, and then if there's any problem, you have to contact them. So it's a bit of an issue. And that's why Woo Network was kind of founded, right, to be that venue where all the liquidity is sufficient. They could do all their trading activity right there, and it's supposed to be like the perfect place for traders, right? So that's what we're building with WooX. Below Kronos, I put Orderly Network. That's what I mentioned. We incubated with Near. So that's going to be very exciting. It's basically getting a lot of that liquidity onto the Near blockchain. So these are really close partners, and that gives us a strong position within the industry to do a lot of different things. Kevin, did you have anything to add here on any of these points before
you covered everything?
Okay, yeah, I'm trying not to be too wordy here. In the interest of time, you can jump to the next slide. And yeah, you always think about with the product, what is the unique selling point, right? Obviously, we do have a unique selling point that currently no one else can offer with the 0 fees that Kevin mentioned earlier while I was having technical difficulties. And, we're seeing it now. Binance recently did the promotion where they did 0 fees on spot pairs. And then some other exchanges are also following this. So we've always predicted that the fee within cryptocurrency trading would be a race to the bottom, just like it is in traditional finance. About 2 or 3 years ago, you paid huge fees and you didn't care because that's the only way you're going to get these assets that are rapidly increasing in value. But as the industry matures, the assets become a little less volatile. Well, we say that now, but that hasn't been the case so far this year. But, in general, it should be less volatile, much more trading volume. And these traders are going to demand better price execution. So that comes from liquidity and fees. So yeah, I mean, that was always our strategy. And we're shooting for probably a few years ahead of everyone else. We're not trying to play catch up. We're trying to build something that's innovative that no one else has. And now we're getting validated by these other platforms suddenly, announcing 0 fees. The one interesting thing is that it's very hard for a venue, a traditional CeFi venue, to compete with us just because of the way it's structured. They have the different parties in terms of the retail traders and the market makers, and then the central exchange, right? Their interests are not very aligned on a traditional CeFi platform because the exchange wants the market makers to trade as much as possible because then they earn fees. But then the market makers tend to be toxic to themselves in terms of eroding each other's profits, which makes them raise the spreads. And then retail traders end up paying all those fees. So it's very difficult for them to do that. But because of our relationship with Kronos Research, it allows us to get much lower, and in some cases with the trade to earn rebates, even to rebate users. So we're very happy in the direction the industry is going because it's pushing this narrative that 0 fee is best. And eventually, it's going to be very hard for these people to actually compete with WooX. So yeah, I think that's the main part I wanted to cover today. Polygon was one of the first networks that we reached out to in DeFi. And then we're very excited to see what's coming later because obviously Polygon's community is huge and the amount of different assets and ecosystems there is really exciting for us. We go anywhere where there's users and volume because that's where we can provide the most value. And so, we're very excited to provide value to Polygon coming forward. And yeah, really happy to be on this call and welcome any sort of questions that you guys might have.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the most exciting and impactful projects that I've seen to date. It's really, I'm very fired up about what you guys are doing. There's a lot of topics I want to jump back to and talk about, but Yeah, one thing I neglected to mention, if you guys have any questions, there's the voice chat text channel you can drop them in, as well as the text channel for this voice channel you could use as well.
Mhm. Yeah, we're not as sexy as some of the other projects who are doing, like NFT stuff, right? It was very topical, but there's a lot going on, and we have a lot of resources, so it's very exciting to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah, for sure. One thing you mentioned that I wasn't aware of, you said something about trade to earn rebates. What's that?
Well, it's basically due to the relationship, and this is a little bit technical, between makers and takers, and that like the manual taker flow, which is people taking an order out of the order book, is actually more beneficial to us than people putting it on the other side. So we always want to incentivize this real organic volume, and it basically people who have staked Woo tokens on the platform and are taking are able to earn rebates, which is a negative fee. Basically, it's a um, yeah, it's a negative fee, which it's for people who are trading. They'll be familiar with that concept, but it's really innovative for this space, and it's all these other people trying to get to zero fees. We've already gone past that.
Sweet, sweet. One thing I want to talk about more too is you mentioned Woo DAO. So, would you mind elaborating a bit on what Woo DAO does and how the governance structure is set up?
Kevin, do you have this in your slides at all?
No, I don't. We didn't include it.
Okay. Did you want to talk about this, or would you like me to start?
Yeah, I can quickly talk about this. Like WuDAO is set up like we basically allocated 300 million Wu token to WuDAO. So WuDAO is set up in a way that it's not managing like the Wu product, more on try to be like extension of the Wu team to help from like business development, especially in DeFi, growth, as well as like treasury management to manage the DAO's own treasury. So in terms of the governance, because we have both CFI and DeFi product, and also our product is across all the blockchain. So we didn't like adopt like a typical like token based governance model. Currently, we use kind of like our Discord to connect our like stakers on CFI platform as well as on DeFi platform. So the DAO is in the Discord, and we have so everyone who stake like 1800 Wu either on CFI platform or DeFi platform, they get like a voter role. So with the voter role, you can vote on proposal. So the governance process is similar as most of the other DAOs. Like you start with a proposal, like a request for comment, and then and then the working group leader will assess those facility discussion and assess those proposal. And then if the proposal move to like a WIP, like a Wu improvement process, all the voters in the Discord will be able to vote and decide whether they want to this proposal to pass or not. Yeah, so we actually have a lot of the core contributors in this in this chat, and we also have the contributor incentive program. Like you can start as a contributors to contribute on initiative if you really showcase your your capability to contribute. You can actually get like a core contributor role. For core contributor, we actually provide like a fixed monthly incentive, and on top of that, for each pass the proposal, we actually also have like WIP successful rewards. Yeah, and in addition to that, we just started our grant program for contributor who actually want to like build some tools or products around around the Wu ecosystem. We actually DAO is also trying to provide rewards. Yeah, and we also have as part of the DAO, we have the Wu Force, which is basically the growth arm of Wu DAO, which is that Ben is leading. Maybe Ben can touch on that quickly.
I mean, I mentioned it a little bit earlier. But I mean, we have very large ambitions on the growth side, and there's just so many regions, and each of them are quite unique in how you should attack that in terms of growth. So, hiring big teams internally isn't always the best solution. And then trying to bring people over from other regions, like having me lead growth in Nigeria, for example, isn't a great move. So we found our community was full of these talented and hardworking people who wanted to help, right? Because obviously they had exposure to Wu tokens. And then they had a lot of great ideas. So, we're putting together this team of people across the globe, and then we're giving them access to internal resources in terms of employees of the Wu network showing up on the calls and answering questions, and then providing them with resources, and other perks like merch, compensation. The goal is to have offline events in all these different regions on a regular basis. To strengthen ties with the local communities. We're trying to establish more educational opportunities in a lot of these regions so that people become better traders, right? Because if people are better traders, they're trading with more volume, they're more loyal to your product, they're making money, everybody's happy, right? I mean, that's the ultimate win-win situation. And so that's what we're trying to achieve. And so far we're off to a good start. I mean, the market shifting downwards has resulted in a lot of retail being flushed out. So this is a perfect time to be building for the next cycle, because when the retail starts rushing back in, they'll be attracted to people who have been here the whole time building, which is something that I think Polygon understands the importance of. And it's why we're here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really exciting that there's opportunities to earn from being active within the DAO. Shawin was asking about that, so you already answered his question. And then, yeah, it sounds like a extremely exciting ambassador program that you have going on, being able to communicate with the industry leaders at the Woo Network, get your hands on exclusive merch and exclusive alpha. That's all fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Connected,
Yeah.
actually, speaking of alpha, Connected was wondering, hey, Woo team, could you please drop some alpha?
Yeah, we actually have alphas in the next part of the presentation about WooFi.
They don't trust me with the alpha. They leave that to Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, maybe let's jump into WooFi real quick. I think I will run through this quickly and can jump into the demo and leave some time for questions.
Yeah, one thing I found really cool when I was demoing everything on was the Woo X, how you're able to set up like your own interface for trading. Like, I'm not much of a trader, honestly, but it was really cool customizing my window and all the different ways you can do that.
Yeah, I mean, our product design, our user research, like these teams are working really hard to talk to traders and find out what they really need. So, I mean, obviously we had the option when we were building the platform to just copy everything, because a lot of stuff has been established, but we didn't want to go that route. And so you can see that with a lot of our products that there was actual time spent on thinking about how traders would interact with the platform. And this is constantly improving, right? So this was like the version 1, right? And it's going to keep getting better and better over time.
Awesome. And yeah, you guys said you launched in 2019? Or you first started working on this in 2019?
That is when the Liquidity network first got launched. So WooX didn't come around until 2021. But at the time, we were an institutional-only trading network, and our biggest clients were other exchanges. These tier 2 exchanges, a lot of them, they have a really hard time competing with liquidity and incentivizing market makers to go provide liquidity on their platform, because market makers, everything is it's a cost, right? So if they're providing a lot of liquidity on these platforms, and there's not a lot of trading volume, then they're not making a lot of money. So they're very reluctant to do this. It's a bit of a chicken and the egg problem, where exchanges can't get good liquidity without market makers, but market makers won't provide good liquidity without a bunch of retail traders. So to do that, they either extend a lot of credit or give really, good trading incentives to these market makers. But that introduces a lot of risk to their system, which we obviously saw the CeFi risk element a few months ago. But yeah, so Woo Network was supposed to be a solution to that. It was providing liquidity to them, and all of these exchanges could connect via API to our network. And that ran very successfully for about a year until it got to the point where we felt it was stable and the use case had been established. And then we just started building products on top of it. So that's where WooX came out. It's basically allowed anyone to access the same liquidity network. WooFi Swap, which is the DEX swap, and now WooDex, which is an on-chain order book DEX. So yeah, that's kind of how things evolved over time.
Cool.
Should we jump into the WooFi part?
Yeah.
Kevin's getting antsy over here.
Yeah, I'll talk through this quickly because I think this is most relevant to probably the Polygon ecosystem at the moment. So as I mentioned, WooFi is a swap, right? So it's a SPMM, right? Synthetic proactive market maker. I think what's unique about that, it's like it has extremely high capital efficiency. Usually it's around 300% or to 1,000%. Which what that means is like I think typically in AMM you may have like with a pool with for example like 2 million in TVL. Typically this pool can do like maybe 1 million or even less volume. Just because the way that AMM is designed, the liquidity is more passive, the capital efficiency is lower. But with our DEX, we use our DEX with a combination of technology to basically simulate the WooX order book liquidity. So no matter where you're on Polygon or other chain, when you trade on WooFi, you basically get the same price and slippage as if you were trading on WooX. And as a result, like as I mentioned, WooFi has become one of the best liquidity source for major assets on all the 4 blockchain. So WooFi has processed over 1.1 billion in volume. And those aggregators, they constantly like route trades to us, right? And another thing is that WooFi is probably the first DEX that actually pay any DApp that route orders to us. We actually pay them in volume-based rebate in stable coins. I think probably WooFi is the only DEX that actually pay rebates to aggregators or any DApps that want to send us order flow. So if you guys know any project who may want to find like good liquidity and get rebates in the Polygon ecosystem, yeah, feel free to introduce that to us. It could be Web3 app, social app, or even GameFi app. Any app they want to maybe offer their user the swap feature in their app. And another thing is I'm gonna demo a little bit is like we integrated Stargate built by Layer 0. Now on WooFi you can do actually one-click cross-chain swap. So what that means is you just need to stay on the UI, just need to do one transaction. You can swap your assets from BSC, Avalanche, or Phantom directly to Polygon without leaving the UI or like sign multiple transactions. And also like we provide Woo staking on WooFi. So the staking rewards is actually coming from the swap fee. So what WooFi actually charge probably the lowest swap fee across all the DEXs. We charge only like 0.025% swap fee. And what's better is like all the 80% of the swap fee actually is used to buy back Woo token on daily basis and give it to the stakers on this particular blockchain. So it creates kind of very interesting interesting dynamics that with the chain with higher volume, actually they can accommodate more Woo token stake. Actually, recently Polygon is actually have the highest Woo staking rewards across all the 4 blockchain. Just because now there are still relatively fewer Woo token staked, and there's also already like some decent volume. And maybe we will add some. This is on the swap, and we will actually launch some new feature in the near future to allow user, because right now WooFi, the LP side, on the LP side is like normal user, they are not able to participate. It's the LP is actually also Chronos, but in the near future we're going to open up the liquidity provision for user. So basically they can add liquidity in WooFi. They don't have to provide like a pair of assets. They can just deposit one single asset in a vault, and then they basically earn as the market maker kind of supporting the liquidity on WooFi. So yeah, if you want to learn more about WooFi, you can go to basically the learn.woo.org. There's a whole section about WooFi. And then just some interesting stats, like since we launched on Polygon, like, and we connected with Paraswap, so we actually are already very competitive in terms of the price for the major assets. Like I just quickly did like a test, like if I want to buy 50K worth of Matic, so you can see in the screenshot, like on Paraswap, they find the best route, best price for users. Oh, actually, I put the wrong circle. Actually, you can see that for this trade, like 75% of the volume will go through WooFi, just because WooFi is able to provide the best price to support user to buy Matic. And on the bottom left, you can see like we just launched maybe 2 weeks ago on Polygon. We are already doing 11 million. But what's interesting is that with this 11 million volume, we are just using maybe around 300K to 400K TVL. So with that little amount of TVL, we are already doing around 1 million per day on Polygon. And we actually plan to scale up the liquidity in the coming weeks, so you can expect to see the Polygon volume to continue grow. And another thing is, as I mentioned, like the capital efficiency, like you can see in the screenshot on the upper right side. So like this is on another chain. Like on this day, actually it did like 700% turnover. Which means the volume is 7 times of the TVL. And another poster is that something we post on Twitter, like the Woo staking APR. Right now, Polygon is the highest. Actually, it's much more higher than in the poster. It's actually above 30% on Polygon.
Yeah, because the way the trading fees contribute to the APY, when the volume shoots up, so does the APR. So yeah, that's right now it's 39% on Polygon because these last few days have been pretty crazy.
Yeah, and in order to like celebrate this WooFi's launch on Polygon, also want to encourage Polygon user to try out WooFi. We actually just released this NFT campaign. So for any user starting from tomorrow 0 UTC, any user who use our cross-chain swap feature to swap any assets from BSC, Avalanche, or Phantom to the Woo token on Polygon, it could be any amount, and then also stake any amount of Woo token in the WooFi Polygon, you will be able to claim this beautiful NFT on the left. And yeah, and we actually plan to launch more of these NFT campaign in the future. So user who collect all the NFT will be able to claim a special NFT, which will give them like a special Discord role in our DAO, and maybe Ben will probably like design maybe some rewards or maybe merch for the people who get that WooFi Wizard NFT. Yeah, it's something I just posted this article in the voice chat channel. So if anyone is interested, you can check out the articles and see how to join this campaign. Yeah, I think that's what we want to cover. I can quickly do like a demo of the WooFi platform real quick. Yeah, so as you guys, as I mentioned, like this is basically WooFi fi.woo.org. So from the user perspective, it's just a swap, right? You have the swap window and Kline. If you want to swap any assets, you can actually see like you can see WooFi's trading fee is only 0.025%. And we actually compare directly with other DEX, so you know what you are getting. Maybe for this particular trade, the WooFi's price is better than QuickSwap and SushiSwap, but it's a little bit maybe under the Uniswap V3. But a lot of time, if you try some other assets, you may get the best price from WooFi. And then the staking is something I just mentioned. Like you can see like all the stats from all the 4 blockchain. You can see the APY on the Polygon Polygon chain is the highest. In terms of the dashboard, like we just actually traded around 13 million in the last 24 hours. I think if you check the CoinGecko, we are around maybe number 28 in terms of all the spot DEX. Yeah, and we use, as I mentioned, we use all 80% of the swap fee to buy back Woo. So accumulatively, we actually already bought back almost 1 million Woo token, and those tokens were rewarded to the staker. Yeah, I mentioned about the cross-chain swap. So on the swap window, you can actually choose the destination chain you want your assets to. You want to receive your assets. So like in our campaign, it's about if I just try like do a quick demo about like the first task in our NFT campaign is basically swap some assets to Polygon. So if I want to do it, I can just make sure you have choose Polygon as the destination chain and the Woo as the destination assets. If I just do like some swap, a very small swap,
so you should do more than that.
Like, I need to make sure I have enough gas.
Load up your bags, Kevin.
You can see here, like on the UI, it tells you exactly the route. So basically, your BNB is going to be swapped to the stablecoin, and then will be used Stargate as the bridge to bridge the stablecoin to Polygon, and then use that stablecoin to buy Woo on the WooFi Polygon. So if I just do the swap, it tells you all the information you need. So yeah, this window will pop up, telling you about the process. The swap actually is in the process. If you click on it, you can see the status on the Polygon side. So yeah, you can check when your assets arrive. So typically, it will arrive in depending on the network condition. So it typically takes like 1 minute to like 2 minutes before your assets arrive in your wallet. So yeah, if anyone want to try out the NFT campaign, basically you just need to do like a cross-chain swap to Polygon and stake some of the Woo, any amount of Woo in the WooFi Polygon. So you will be able to claim the NFT on the Project Galaxy campaign page. Yeah, I think that's what I want to cover about WooFi.
Absolutely incredible how innovative you guys are on so many different levels. It's really good to see. Cross-chain swaps, and then I was gonna ask about the tokenomics of Woo, but you highlighted the using spot fees to buy back the token and provide that to stakers of the platform, so it makes sense where the yield's coming from there. And yeah, that NFT giveaway that you guys got going on, that's really exciting. I really want to highlight that again for everyone that's listening in, that you can get cool Polygon Adventurer NFTs from doing a cross-chain swap from another chain to Polygon, and then staking your Woo tokens on Polygon, correct? And then if you get all the
Yeah.
Polygon Adventurer NFTs, you can get the Polygon or Woo Wizard NFT, which gives you the special Discord role, and then the potential for additional prizes on top of that. That's really exciting.
Yeah. Uh, it's a little bit difficult sometimes when you're doing things innovative because maybe the average user has never done a cross-chain swap before, and it's a little bit daunting to them. So we're doing a lot to encourage people to try it out, and then once they figure out how easy it is, it just becomes part of their everyday, cryptocurrency experience. So that's part of why we're pushing the education and doing fun stuff like the NFTs, just so people dip their toes in the water. It's not the only user that we target with WooFi. I know a lot of what Kevin's team does is building relationships with a lot of the aggregators across the different networks. So they bring a lot of the volume instead of actually dealing with the users firsthand. And then a third user we're really bullish on are these Web 2 apps that are becoming Web 3 apps, and we're seeing a lot like with Move to Earn, right? And these have the potential to bring millions of users over at once, and then they're always looking for the best price execution around, right? So integration into these types of apps, it's another avenue for growth for WooFi. So yeah, we're focusing on all those three different things, but of all of them, obviously the user is the most the one that brings the community, which is important to our DAO and our other business lines. So we're definitely not neglecting the actual user, and that's why we're prioritizing doing things like education, talking about it here, doing the NFTs and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's how we're thinking about it.
Sweet. And you mentioned like your big partnerships like Kronos and a few others. You also mentioned that you're potentially looking to partner up with dApps within the Polygon ecosystem. I was wondering if we could dial back and elaborate on that a bit more.
Kevin, do you want to do this?
Yeah, basically we want to partner with any dApps. I think we already got a lot of support from the Polygon team. They introduced a lot of project like including DEX aggregators, also lending borrowing markets to us. So yeah, we want to part in addition to aggregators, if there's any project like want to have in-app swap, I think one of the typical example is like Stefan, they did a partnership with Orca on Solana, so that Stefan can provide in-app swap to their user. At the backend is another DEX to support liquidity. We want to actually we wanted this kind of partnership because we can support like the best pricing for the assets, and we can at the same time we can provide rebates to the DApp. So I think on Polygon there's a very active NFT community, and also a lot of great social DApps are building on it, like stuff such as like Lens. I think we are very excited about the Polygon ecosystem. If so, we want to actually partner with maybe web GameFi or like SocialFi or any project. We want to basically we just be the one to support liquidity, and yeah, and also on the WooDAO side, WooDAO want to push for more utility for the Woo token, in for example like lending and borrowing markets and DEXs. So WooDAO can use their treasury to provide liquidity for the Woo token on those DEXs and also the money markets. Yeah, or any like product. For example, like we did a Woo option vault with another project called Theta Nuts. So yeah, this is the kind of partnership that WooDAO can drive alongside the Woo Network team.
Yeah, for sure. That makes a lot of sense. And definitely regarding the Woo staking, I think it'd be really cool to see Woo or even XWoo being utilized as a form of collateral for lending, borrowing, and yeah, it makes so much sense for protocols to just integrate the Woo platform into their dApp rather than build their own exchange that might not be as good as yours. Like what you guys are doing is next level innovative. Rick Sanchez has a question regarding Stargate. He's wondering if it's the only bridge you use, and if so, why did you choose to go with Stargate?
Yeah, currently it's the only bridge we use. I think the reason we chose Stargate is Stargate really provide the composability to easily enable this one-click cross-chain swap. So for like the typical bridge, a lot of the bridge they don't offer this kind of composability because in order to do one-click swap, like the bridge needs to kind of send the message to the destination chain, for example, on Polygon, and tell the smart contract to basically execute this swap on WuFi Polygon. So in order to do this whole process in one click, the bridge needs to support some very flexible composability. But this is just we just started with Stargate. We actually will, and the cross-chain swap is actually in the beta version. So our plan is to, as more users use our cross-chain swap, we actually want to aggregate more bridge, or even using I think the thing even using our own liquidity to support cross-chain swap without using the bridge liquidity. I think that will even lower the cross chain the fee for the cross chain swap. Yeah, yeah, even lower.
Totally, totally. Is there anything that we haven't touched on already that you guys want to touch on? Like, I feel like you provided such a elaborate and in-depth explanation of everything, but is there anything else you want to comment on that we haven't already?
No, I think not. I think we covered everything. Yeah, I think we actually offer a lot of products. Sometimes it's actually very hard to absorb in a short period of time. So I guess yeah, uh, just visit our website and try out different products, and also join our community if you're
Mhm.
interested, and maybe be part of the WuDAO. I don't know, Ben, you have something to add here?
Definitely agree on the call to action to join the Discord, where we host all our DAO activities. We do weekly calls, so it's a great chance to learn from a lot of other smart people. And no, I'm not referring to myself here. I'm talking about the other core contributors in the DAO. So it becomes more of a social circle after a while, and it's a good time. So definitely check it out on the Discord. Also for you, Zanzi, that on the Polygon front, any sort of community or growth efforts that you guys are trying to do, and you're looking for ecosystem members to support, I think both Woo Network and Woo DAO would be interested in taking part, including things like this AMA or things later on. We're very active in some other ecosystems right now. But there's no reason why we can't be doing this in Polygon as well, because we see a really bright future between our ecosystem and your ecosystem. So yeah, that's really it. I think we always enjoy being here. So thank you for having us.
Yeah, I appreciate that. The feeling
Thanks
was
for having
definitely
us.
mutual. Do you guys already have you already done a Twitter AMA or got that scheduled?
We have one scheduled for August. Kevin said that he wanted to wait for a few more products to go live on Polygon. I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not.
Mm.
Oh no, that's fine. Cool, cool. That's good to
No, I was
hear.
talking about Kevin about his product release alpha.
Oh,
Yeah,
alpha
we'll try.
police,
We'll try.
alpha police.
Yeah,
um,
so I think next month we'll be on Twitter Spaces.
Cool, cool. That's exciting. So guys, if you want to get in some last minute questions real quick, well, we got Kevin and Ben here. Drop them in the chat because we are running short on time. And then in regards to best places to follow up with you guys, I've dropped links to your website, Twitter, Medium, Telegram, Discord, and YouTube. Is there anything I've left out that I should throw in? I mean, we've got the Medium article there for the contest. I feel like those are all the
Yeah,
best
I think
places to follow up.
that's the
Yeah,
best places to follow.
yeah. And yeah, there's a lot of other accounts on Twitter that are talking about. We have the Wu Dao has their own Twitter now, so you could search for that one. Also, Wu Intern, they do a lot of memes and fun stuff. So it's a pretty thriving community, and you can always find what you're looking for. Whether you're more of a retail investor, you're more of an advanced DeFi trader, or you're just really interested into DeFi and DAO space. There's something for everybody.
Sweet. I just followed the Woo intern. I like these meme accounts.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I don't see any other questions coming in, so I suppose we're good to wrap things up if you guys are okay with that.
I'm okay if you're okay.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for having us.
I
It's
think
been
this
great.
was a fantastic AMA session. It was awesome to have you guys here. Thank you so much for dropping all the knowledge with us and providing such an elaborate and in-depth overview of the Woo platform. So yeah, really appreciate having you guys here, and thank you everybody for tuning in today.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thanks,
Have
guys.
a good one.
All right, cheers everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful day.